I wanted to clarify a couple things. Just talking about some other videos of mine, kind of more things to look out for. So I've been mentioning a lot lately, I've been really trying to drive it home to myself, because I was having trouble with this, getting enough of a lateral bump forward as I'm turning through. Basically what I want to do is, as I get to the top, I start to get recentered before I'm at the top. Then I start my downswing, and my hips kind of have a head start on everything. They're clearing and getting in front before I get to this parallel to the ground position. But what you got to look out for is your trail heel here kind of coming up and around. Because if I set up to address, check this out. If I'm just here and I lift that leg up like that, look where the club goes. It goes out there. So you really, it's more of a lateral move. You got to watch out for that leg coming up and around. You don't want that. You really want to avoid that. And the other clarification is, I've mentioned letting the right arm kind of straighten and come down. It allows the club to drop to the inside. What that doesn't mean is, it doesn't go fully straight. You want some angle at the top. You're a little short of 90 degrees here at the top with your right arm, but you don't want to keep that exact same angle trying to come through, or the club is just going to come right over the top. So your elbow needs to come down to your rib cage kind of on the side here, and that angle needs to extend and straighten a little bit for the club to drop to the inside. But it's really more of a down, like straight down to the ground, not at the golf ball. Because if you end up throwing straight at the golf ball or down short of the golf ball, you kind of extend your arms out too much. And again, you might catch it on the heel or shank it, but really what happens is, since you're doing these things that'll cause that, when I do them as an example, it's exaggerated. You know, if I'm here, I straighten my arm and lift my leg, the club's way out there, but you're not that stupid, so you're gonna try to bring that club as close in as you can to actually making contact, but you're still gonna end up favoring that heel side if you're doing those things, especially to any kind of extreme. So those are two things to watch out for when trying to get the right hip movement. Is you got to pay attention to your foot movement as well. You hear a lot about hips, upper body staying on plane, grip, all that's very important, but you don't hear as much about footwork. And I think a really good just kind of feeling to have, if you're somebody who lets that foot kind of come too much up and around, is if what we're trying to avoid is this back heel coming up and around and your leg kicking in. I've almost been feeling like the inside of my heel just kind of goes and clicks my other foot. Heel first, don't let this come up so your toe gets in front. It's just kind of a feeling. You can even maybe do a few exaggerated soft swings like that, just kind of getting that foot in there, and it's just kind of, it'll be weird if you do that, but just kind of that feeling of getting rolled. It's more of, comes up like this. It doesn't want to come up and around. That's going to lead into some serious issues if you're doing that. I know it's tough because, obviously feet, the other side, you might be working on your hip rotation and your intentions are good, but when you end up doing the correct thing here, it might affect the other side of you that you got to watch out for. So the golf swing's always a juggling act, and I don't care who you are, you're constantly working on it. Well, you should be constantly working on it. Nobody just, they got the perfect swing. So there's always room for improvement, no matter who you are. Felt sweet. Yeah, just doing some early morning. I just had to get some work done here. Didn't take me long, so I had to hit some balls, warm up a little bit. I might come back later and do another video when I actually have the rest of my clubs and golf shoes. Just hit some. Yeah, I've always really liked the feeling of everything is getting in front of the ball. If my body's here at impact, I want to get everything out in front of that club head. while keeping my head back. That's really what's meant by keeping your head down, because you don't want to just swing and keep your head down. That's not what keep your head down means. At impact, how I'm driving everything forward, you don't want your head to follow you, and you don't want to be over here when you're at impact. So it's getting everything to slide laterally forward towards the target, in a parallel line to your target line. But your head, it's almost like the outside of your shoe and like your head, almost you want it a line right about at the golf ball, just in back of the golf ball. And through impact, you got to get everything but your trail foot, and then your head's kind of right over the ball. You can get everything else out in front. Especially with irons, wedges. Driver's a little bit different, but that's where you see some of that old school reverse C, even if you do that a lot. A lot of players, you watch Tiger through impact, his head's still right over the ball, but he comes up to this straighter position instead of, that classic Tom Kite reverse C or something. See this, just where you're all hitting. I like these dirty range balls. They've been leaving that nice impression right on the club face, so it's real easy to see where your strike was. It's a little chunky. Tried to really take a divot. It's hard on the mat, just bounces. Struck in the same spot though. I'm always saying it, even if you hit the center of the club face most of the time, it still doesn't mean the ball goes straight. That's only, part of it. Thin that one. Definitely didn't take a divot. It's almost too far in front of the ball. If I did take a divot, it's one of those pro thins I've mentioned before. Of course, you don't want too big of a divots with something like a 6-iron. I like, nice little bacon strip to a dollar bill, I'd say. 6-iron, 7-iron, 5-iron, something right in there. About this nice dollar bill. Little bacon strip. I'd say the bacon strip's more, your 4-iron, your 3-iron, just a little bacon strip. And then wedges. When I was a kid, I would dig real deep into the ground. And I very much intentionally shallowed things out. But still, it might be bigger than that dollar bill, maybe $1.50 bills, a little bit thicker with the wedges, but there's no need to really, really dig after it unless, you have a lie that calls for it, like maybe you're in a divot or it's just buried and you gotta hack it out. But, with a decent lie, just a regular old fairway lie, there's no need for a huge divot, but you want a divot, especially with those short irons, shorter clubs. After the ball. Also been working on my grip. Something I always do, I usually tend to get a little bit of a strong glove hand. So what I do is I'll open the face a little bit and just grip it and then turn the face straight. And for some reason, I find that easier than just gripping the club weaker to begin with. Just open, grip, and then straight, and then put my right hand on. It's just a little way to, if you're working on weakening that glove hand, little pre-shot feel. Still, if you want to see him, I did catch one out on the heel a couple balls ago. See, I've been healing it. Because I've been working on the things I've been talking about, and I let my footwork get away from me, and I didn't actually even hit a ball for a couple weeks, and I was working on some stuff in the mirror with my hip turn, not paying attention to my footwork. And all of a sudden I've started healing the ball a little bit, which is weird for me. I figured it out real quick. I'm back to hitting it okay, but be careful with, like I said, when working on one thing, you don't want to stop paying attention to another section of your body. And I do a lot of mechanic work. And one of the toughest parts about doing your own automotive work and mechanic work is diagnosing the problem and knowing what's happening. So within a handful of golf balls, I had first come after a week of not playing and just practicing a move. It's like, why the hell am I hitting it off the heel? And then I shanked one, and I was like, all right, looking in the mirror, film my swing real quick. It's great to be able to have a mirror film your swing. And right away I was like, oh, my footwork is so sloppy. My foot's just coming up, I'm basically going this way, like at everything. No wonder I'm hitting it off the heel. So just what I was talking about, I'm just feeling like I get a little bit more this roll, and it's kind of a feeling of this way instead of letting it come up and around. It's kind of a midpoint between the two, so you don't need to do that fully exaggerated, but it's just kind of the feel of that's kind of how it starts, and then then things can come around without it affecting my upper body before impact. Forgetting I have balls right there. Go and grab them. I'm rusty. I've been doing nothing. Like I said, I haven't been playing at all. Took a little time off because I hurt my back, but my back was feeling better, and I was able to work out. So I kind of overdid the working out. My whole body hurts, but it's all right. That's what winter's for. Training for the season. Go eat some breakfast after this one. That was crappy. Hold on. Those are my worst swings. Can't end on that bullshit. Rushed it, so I'm gonna get out of here. That was perfect. That would have been a nice divot. Probably a little too big even for a 6 iron. All right, I'm out. Peace. Keep it metal. Keep grinding.